up, guys? Dan here. Lots of cool things going on. If you know me, you followed me on Instagram at all, you know I like to lift heavy, but you also know I've been super into clubs and maces recently. And as a result, I have acquired some fixed stuff. I've acquired some adjustable stuff. If you want to check out my previous video on everything that is ADEX Club, that will be linked here or here. Or in the description. We'll see if I get fancy and want to put stuff in the screen. But today we are talking about the CK Maceworks Mace. They have a couple offerings. All I have from them at the moment is just the Mace. And I will talk about why as we go. There's a lot of cool things to like about this in comparison to the ADEX. I'll say that up front. But there's also some things that are a little clunky compared to ADEX too. So as with all the reviews, I'm gonna be very honest. I've talked with this guy online, I've talked with the other guy online, I have a third dude I'm talking to online about adjustable maces and stuff. And regardless of how cool they are, I'm gonna give you my real take on this stuff because I want y'all to be able to trust me and that I'm not shooting for affiliate income, which, while we are on that topic, be sure to check the description after this video for our affiliate links if you're looking for home gym equipment. Unfortunately, CK Maceworks does not offer that yet. So I am just talking about their stuff because I like it and I believe in it, as I do all of the products that I recommend. So without further ado, the CK Maceworks Mace. So specs first. It is bare steel. It has knurling, which is awesome. I'm a barbell guy. I fucking love knurling. So that is a huge plus for me. It has your basic screw adjustment. Now, as you can see, takes a minute, right? So just like other adjustable maces, the quickest way to do it is to go here and give it a little spin. The threading is very horizontal, I think a little more so than the ADEX, which means it typically stays a little more snug, and there's a couple reasons for that. Oh, I got the XXL screw, so it takes a little longer. They have 3 different lengths, which is oh so cool. So, the nice thing about Macework is you rarely change the weights, but it takes a minute. Super cool things about this though. They have addressed, if you watched my ADEX Club review video, they have an O-ring that sits right here. I'll get a close-up of that. And that, when you put the plates on the mace, you hold it, you step on the plates, you crank it, that compresses this. Then when you step off, it decompresses a little bit and locks it in more. So there's less chance of things coming unscrewed. I think the flatter screw pattern and that as a combination help a lot. Not that I've had a big deal, as you can see in the other review, I haven't really had an issue with the ADEX coming unscrewed to any amount that concerns me. And Don did hit me up and say that if you kind of spin it and snap it quick, that doesn't really happen either. So if that's the one concern you have, but you like everything about the other one better, don't stress. But this is very cool. So one of the things I very much like about the CK Maceworks Mace, it works with standard weight plates. This screw is 1 inch. So standard weight plates with 1-inch holes line up perfectly. So if you are someone that already has a lot of standard weight plates, all you gotta do is buy the Mace for 300 bucks and you're good. Whereas ADEX, if you want to go to like a 100-pound mace, very hard to do that in a cost-effective way, as the add-on kits are another $300 and they don't even get you there. Whereas this, you can just load 10-pounder plates, boop, 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 you can get to 100 pounds pretty quick with the longer loading pin. Some other cool things about the Maceworks Mace is that it comes in 3 different lengths. So they have a sizing chart based on your height. They have recommendations on how long of a mace handle you should get. And then based on the weights that you want to swing, they have a recommendation on how long of a screw you can get. My recommendation would be get the longest screw possible. Yes, you may never outgrow it. if you get a smaller one. Yes, the longer one takes a little more to put in, but it just gives you options. If you want to change things to where you just stack 2.5 pound plates to change the balance of the mace, you can do that. Whereas if you went for the smaller screw, you may not have space to do that at the weights you would like to do that with. So it's a personal recommendation. Other thing I really enjoy about this is I have hacked it. You can use normal 2-inch Olympic plates. Now this is a little bit of a MacGyver thing, but it is not a hard thing to do. There are these Kensui 1-inch thick, 1-inch diameter on the inside, but then the outside is a 2-inch diameter, which means it will work on Olympic plates. They sell a 4-pack for like $9. There is a link to Kensui in my description. I do get a couple cents if you buy some. So what I did is I took these, I threw them on there, and then I noticed sometimes, depending on what plates I had, there was a little fudge factor. So when you're swinging, it'll click, 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 click as you're swinging around. So what I did to fix that is just sawed them in half. So I have 1-inchers that are 1-inch thick, and then I have a 1/2-inch thick one as well. And that solves all the problems. As long as there is a piece of the plate catching this lip, but the plate sticks up higher, it's still not gonna shift on you. If there is the plate with a little bit of the spacer showing still, you're gonna get that slush. So with this, I have not had an issue. I've loaded this with all kinds of options, all the way to 52.5 pounds, all the way down to like 15 pounds, and I've had no issue. The workaround that needs to happen though, you need to have 2 standard weight plate plates. Now, why that is because this right here is 2 inches. So if you put your Olympic plates on here and your spacers, it doesn't matter because it's just gonna slide right through. I did that once, scared the shit out of me. Don't recommend it. So then I put a spacer on the top of it. And then I was like, cool, this is fine. And then, like a dummy, this right here is 2 inches as well. So I went, and it went, so don't do that. You need 2 1-inch standard plates. I got a couple 2.5ers from this company, Weighted Out, which is a very cool company. I'll do a review on their plates here at some point. I love them because they're very, very skinny. It lets me load my Gungnir dumblers, which only have a 4.25-inch loadable space, lets me load them to over 160 pounds per hand because this is a 5-pounder, but their 10-pound plates are only a 1/2-inch thick. These are weird ones. I forget what they called them, but they were discontinued. So they are like actually 1 inch thick, and they're only 2.5 pounds. They're chunky. I like how they look. And I have 2 of these. So one goes on the screw, then I put my spacers on, fill the plates I want, and then the other one sits on top of the plates, and then everything gets tightened up, and then nothing goes flying. So if you're using this strategy, you are at 8-pound-ish mace, plus 2.5 pounds, you're at 10 pounds, plus 2.5, you're at like 12-ish pounds at this point. 13, 12, 13, something like that. So if you cannot swing a 13-pound mace, you will need to just use these little guys, standard plates. Throw one on there, you're at 10 pounds, get to swinging, get stronger, then you can start throwing Olympics. But the thing that makes this a game changer is for people like me who are meatheads and come from like heavy lifting, barbell gyms. Maybe you don't have a huge home gym and you go to a gym to lift, lat pull downs, bench press, squat, deadlift. You have access to a lot of Olympic plates. Now, you can go in there with an 8-pound thing slung over your shoulder and your bag or whatever with 2.5-pound plates, and then you can just throw on Olympic weights and you can get your swings in too, as long as you have some space in there, as opposed to carrying in an ADX mace with 30 pounds, up to 50 pounds if you have an add-on kit, up to like 70 pounds if you're double add-on kit. That's a heavy thing to lug into a gym with you. This is not. This is very doable. So, portability, I love the CK Maceworks mace. Now, the other thing that's super cool is you can get custom mace heads made. I will link this guy's Instagram in my description here, and he is it's like Kiba Berlin. He makes custom maces like with steel or iron or lead poured head, depending on what weight you want. And he makes these super cool artsy things. It's a little pricey, but I'm playing with getting some stuff made. This is a common machined screw size. So you can conceivably, or my buddy Ramjet, I'll put him on Instagram too, Mike Ramjet, I believe. He coaches wrestlers and things, he does a lot of mace work, strong mace guy, but he pours like concrete spheres with a screw head in it, and he'll just screw those bad boys down into it. I've also talked to the guy that runs CK Maceworks, and they do have plans for more things for this. So the other thing that is very cool about this company is there is a lot of potential with this 1-inch screw head to do a lot of cool things. I don't know for sure what he's planning to do, but things like having one of these and then just a bunch of balls in the quarter, fixed weight. Maybe there's a 5-pound head, a 10-pound head, and it's a little more looking like a fixed mace when it gets done instead of just a bunch of stacked plates. That of course is gonna be pricier than just using your own plates, but if you got the means and you think it looks way cooler and you like it, more power to you. So that is a lot of cool, positive things and lots of potential for this, right? Things that are maybe not as ideal. They are a younger company. They just got their website live earlier this year. Nothing against that, hell yeah, super glad to see them grow. But you can tell it's a smaller shop trying to get things done, American made, heck yeah, let's go. But there is a little like finer touch points that just aren't where they will be in the next year or two. So by the time you're watching this, a lot of these may already be handled. First thing, easy cleanup things they could do on the website. Things like the exact length of loading space on the screw head is not a thing on there. It has the 3 sizes. It kind of talks through like how heavy things can go, but having like a weight range on there, which he did Instagram me, and I will put it on some B-roll here as we're talking. But he does have the ranges based on if you're loading with 2.5-pound plates or 10-pound plates. Now that may vary slightly for you depending on how thick your actual plates are, as brands can vary. But it'll give you a really good guideline and use that as a tool to technical difficulty, all good. I feel like I almost completed a thought there. You'll probably get the gist of it, but we're just gonna keep on freaking going because that's what we do. We are not professionals. This looks like a weapon. I like it. So, next piece that is a little, and this just could be my issue, right? So, screwing this in, it feels like machining wise, it's not quite as polished as I would love it to be. So I feel like sometimes it's hard to get it started. So when you have this part on the ground and you're standing on it, starting to screw it in, sometimes it can be hard to get it started because this will actually spin while this is spinning. You really gotta step on it sometimes to kind of get it. And that could just be my specific one. But as I look at it, some of the screw threads look a little abrasive. So I'm wondering maybe just if a little oil would smooth that out, or if that's just something in the machining process that isn't perfected yet. But like I said, super newish company, young in the business. I'm sure process-wise, this is only gonna improve and get better. And I would not use that as an excuse to not invest in this, as I do think it is an extremely quality product, especially if you're looking for one that has portability and is light. Now, the only other thing that I can complain about, but it's kind of out of ignorance because I haven't actually tried it with their clubs. So I mentioned that you could do almost all the club movements without an issue. When I am swinging one of their competitors' clubs, right? Or if I'm swinging a fixed club, the fixed club is relatively narrow, right? So you're about like this for like a 20-ish pound club. My 100-pound club only gets about like this. That's kind of the size of a 2.5-pound like Olympic plate. So as it gets thicker, you might have some issues with it catching you. I have with my 5-pound plates touched my bottom a few times. Now it's toward the end of sets when I'm getting tired and probably doing poor technique. So maybe it's just a good reminder. But if you're using 10-pound plates or even 5-pound plates, you might nick yourself. And that's fine. That's a learning experience. I've never drawn blood. It's always hit me in the shorts. It's been a graze. It hasn't been a smash. And that's one of the things that kind of gave, from what he said, a little bit of pause to him about putting Olympic plates on it, is because Olympic plates tend to have sharper edges, whereas standard plates tend to be a little more rounded. So if you get conked, at least you don't get cut. That being said, I don't think that's a reason to not get the Mace. But I do think that may be something that would give you pause to get the clubs. And let me explain. A lot of club movements you're doing up here, you're doing, mills, you're doing 360s and 10 and 2s, just like you would do with the Mace. There's a lot of like overhead, like lunge work thing, like there's a lot of things you can do with a club. One of the things that I love to do with my clubs, because I feel like it's almost as like nasty on your body as a kettlebell swing, but definitely harder on your grip, is swipes, where you're, hold that thought, where you are going here and swiping through, okay? Now with this ADX club, if you stay tight to your body and you have decent sized calves at all, you got a little bit of space before you nick yourself. With a 5-pound plate on here versus the thickness it is right there, it gets pretty close. And I just wouldn't love swinging and beating the shit out of my leg on the way through, because that's a pretty tight margin. I've ran into this with kettlebells before, so you can do like inside swings, right? Like a standard kettlebell swing, or you can go outside swings, and the outside swings can get a little close for comfort for the same reason that this may be an issue. With that one single movement, okay? Let me make a big caveat there. I'm not saying the clubs suck and you don't want to get them. I'm just saying for that one specific movement, you'll definitely want 2.5s and nothing bigger would be my recommendation. But you can get a lot of 2.5s on here, and you can get a club to a lot of weight with 2.5s. So that would be fine. But you just need to know you have to invest in 2.5s, or when you go to a commercial gym and you're using the 2-inch plates with like the little Kensui fitness spacer hack, you're just gonna be commandeering like every 2.5 in the day. So, final verdict. I am going to say, as my memory keeps getting full, which is super annoying, this is a freaking awesome Mace. 9 out of 10, only because little touch-up things, like a little smoother on the screw, and because I know they're gonna be doing some more cool stuff, and I'm gonna give it 10 out of 10 when they put out more cool stuff. I couldn't do that. Very cool, definitely worth checking out. I will link their website in the description, and you guys should, go crazy. Housekeeping thing though, there is a third company with an adjustable Mace, and no, I am not talking about the Shoulder Rock. If you want to do Mace training to get good at Maces, the Shoulder Rock sucks ass. It is good for prehab, but it is 2.5 inches of loadable space, which is not enough space for what we want to do. There is a third, and I will be receiving this at some point this week, and I will be sure to get a review on that one as well. And then after that one settles, if y'all want to see a side-by-side between all three, and let me go pros and cons and recommendations, all time, which one is the best of the best? Stay tuned, comment below, let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. But so far, I really enjoy this. I really enjoy some things about the ADX Club. They both are great products. But if you're thinking about getting this one, this is the one you were leaning toward, I think it's a good choice. I think you will not be disappointed, provided you use the 2-inch plate hack, because I feel like that's the game changer for this specific product. Be sure to check the links in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe. Comment, let me know what else you want me to check out. I got a lot of crap here to review. I'm gonna start pushing things out, and we'll go from there. Catch y'all later.